if you're about to marry someone and you say you're really a Christian, you should be able to tell them, like, look, I've had a bad past, I changed, and all that stuff.
Look, this is the kind of information that you don't disclose before the marriage.
Wahala. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Beyond 30 podcast. As usual, I have my ladies with me.
Dr. O, aka Femi.
Come.
And I'm Tammy. So today's topic is going to be very exciting, especially for the married people. And I think it also applies to if you're in a relationship or if you're seriously seeing someone and you're engaged. It's marriage and boundaries, should you have privacy or share everything? So should they know all the ins and the outs and all the little bits and pieces here and there? Or should you keep small something to yourself? So what do we, how do we start?
And two shall become one. If you're hiding things, what's the point of being together?
So you're not one. You're hiding things.
You're not one.
You're two.
Yeah. If you're hiding things, you're two.
So you're saying everything.
Yeah, but let's define what everything is, right? Okay. Over to you guys.
You know, you once mentioned that sometimes if your friends tell you stuff, you won't tell him. Are you one?
When you don't do that?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's why we're deciding.
That's why we're defining it.
Okay.
Like someone else's gist is not my gist to be downloading to my husband. Right?
Good.
Because it doesn't concern him. It's not going to benefit our relationship.
Yep.
It's not going to affect us per se. They probably told me that in confidence. So maintaining confidence is important. But I think in a marriage, things like your past. Very important to share. Things like your aspiration, your dreams, very important to share as well.
Yeah.
What about the family secrets?
Whose family?
As in your family.
My family.
Not your husband. You know you're married, but you came from your family. Your own family secret.
Okay. I don't think there's anything to share. I don't think there's anything to hide, rather.
Okay.
Because why? Okay. I don't want to oversimplify it, but I don't think there's any reason to hide it from him. Unless, again, it is someone else's gist. Does that make sense? Like, okay, we all grew up in homes where you have siblings.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a sibling's gist.
Stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
When I say gist, not that it's interesting for let's laugh. But something happened to a sibling. They went through something in their lives. Now that is not that's their story to share with their own spouse. That's not something that you now want to take into your home to share. What if it's something like there's a family, like an ancestral thing, like like some families, like where they have like some health challenges, like you need to disclose all of those things. Otherwise, I see it as you're deceiving this person.
Not healthy. You know, this that they say there is cost in the family, or there's
You need to
share it. Yeah. I think we can define everything as anything that impacts directly or indirectly impacts your union, your lives individually, and your lives together as a couple. Directly.
Do you hear this academic definition? We need it.
As an instructor.
I have a professor on our list.
So that's everything, right? So if it has to do with someone else, please let it be their story. So whether it's your friend or it's a sibling or it's your parents even, right? Keep it to yourselves, I guess. That's what we're saying. So, but are there things that is even personal to you that you like? Do you tell them all of this in like how quickly should you divulge all this information?
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
You call the person your spouse, meaning that you already give yourself to this person, 100%. please, what is more sacred than you?
So, Kume, you think that when you're in a marriage or you're in a relationship, should it be in a marriage or in a relationship? Which one is it? Marriage. So the question I was trying to say, do you have to tell them everything before you get married or after you get married?
It depends what the thing is.
If you don't tell them until after, then that's deceit now.
It's deceit.
That was a decision that could have changed. I mean, information that could have changed their mind on whether they should marry or not.
Do you get?
Yeah.
Like, no. So if you think it is such a material piece of information, disclose it before you marry the person. You don't want to, get married and then you tell him and then he's like, I'm not interested anymore. You don't be like, oh, but it's your fault.
Let's have some examples of things. What, like something like what?
A medical condition, for
medical
example.
conditions. For example, there's some people who have had kids, maybe like teenage kids, and then I remember there was this story of this girl who had, she had the kid when she was like 13 or so, and that kid people thought it was her mom's last child. It was actually her son. She got married, and she never told the guy. Right now, I don't know how their story ends, but something like that.
That's crazy.
It's better to tell him, and then you're going into that relationship with peace of mind.
Yeah,
there's nothing anybody can blackmail you with. And if he says he's not getting married to you because of that thing, so be it. Let him go.
Okay, so then what is the opposite? What are the things that you can keep till after marriage?
Is there anything?
I will keep how much I'm worth.
I think that's a tricky one.
I will keep how much I'm worth in a sense like something like money you can't really hide, but the actual amount in the bank, because then you want
to know before.
Because you want to be sure that he's not marrying for money.
No. Let's say that. I mean, if you guys are already engaged, at least you should be able to disclose. This guy is already serious about you anyway.
So you would tell him until after
you have married.
If I was a billionaire, I wouldn't tell you. We'll get married first. Then I'll tell you like, yeah, dude. Actually.
But what happens with like people? So I think this is common practice. I may be wrong, but where when they're engaged to be married, everybody sits down and breaks down. This is what I'm owing. This is what this is my income. These are the plans. These are the things. Yeah.
Did they say
it should be part of it?
Yeah, did they say as part of that conversation we should say exactly how much is in our bank account?
So you don't need to say exactly. If you're a millionaire, he must know.
No. I'm happy to tell you. No, wait.
The exact amount can change.
Exactly. Okay, hold on. So this financial conversation, how much you're owing, debt is a big thing. Because if he's marrying you, then his credit is going to be joined to yours. Yes. So debt, disclose. What else? What else is as serious as debt?
Debt versus
your net worth.
Income. I don't believe in hiding income. Disclose your income.
So what?
And once you disclose, so she's talking about savings. She's talking about like savings and investments.
Now that one.
But there are people that do like.
She talked about one emergency fund in one of the episodes.
I see. Okay. So savings and investments, he doesn't need to know. I feel like if you're all in with like what you're sharing everything, and you trust this person, you're about to get married to the person. Why hold that piece of information?
I think maybe I'm just funny like that, but I
can understand holding it in the beginning when you just meet, but
yes,
when you're that serious, already going down there.
Here that I didn't say that I was going to keep it a secret forever.
Yeah.
But that money in my account. Yeah. Okay, let me put it like this context. So, and ladies, please let us know if this is weird. Sometimes you need to know the person deeper to understand their money personality. So there's some people who are spendthrifts that once they know there's money, all their brain wants to do is blow it, right? But you won't know those things until you're actually married, living together.
You should have seen some of the trade. Yeah.
You might only suspect, but it's very different. You know, there's some people, I don't know, they used to call them, there's a word, Yoruba word they used to call them, where once they hold money, that's, their body begins to look for, what can I buy? What can I buy?
Yes,
what can I buy?
yes.
Right? If you're the kind of person that, you marry that kind of person, and you are not sure of how he relates to money, and you then tell him, oh, I have $1 billion in the account too. And you then refuse to bring that money out, just know that you guys are going to fight.
Wow. I don't know. I feel like for me, it's like if I'm trusting this person completely, that part should be easy.
Okay.
I think again. It's like, because it's like, okay, so what's gonna happen if that changes in the marriage? Like you now tell him in the marriage, and then he's now showing his true colors. What does it do?
And then once you feel offended that I was after money, like a gold digger.
I feel like it can actually cause friction.
Yeah.
That one is easy to explain. Do you think there's anybody that you tell that I have $1 billion, I'm about to give it to you?
I don't know.
You're not like, I'm not doing it again because no, you're not saying I'm actually breaking up with you because you know you have $1 billion. I don't like it.
I don't know. I feel like maybe financial won't be on my own list for like things I will hold back.
So what would you hold back?
What would I hold back? I think just maybe really deep personal. So it's not something that affects him and the marriage in the future of the marriage and all that, or even impacts him in any way. It's just stuff that is just me. I don't know how to put it. Like maybe some things I've experienced and somehow I'm maybe dealing with some of that thing in the marriage. Then maybe I just go a bit deeper like that. But that's for me. It's like everything. Almost as at least as much as I can remember before marriage, share almost everything as much as I can remember.
Would you disclose all your exes?
That one is compulsory before marriage, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Because
the question is not do you disclose the exes, do you disclose
the
exactly how you felt about said exes?
Right. How is that necessary? What does it want to do with the information?
So you see this part, this one I was going to bring up later because I was like, how much of your past relationship, and in terms of like the depth of your past relationships with your exes, do you share with somebody that whether you're about to get into a marriage with or someone that you're in a marriage with, right? How much of it would you share?
So you have to anything that you know that if it comes up in the future, it's going to cause a problem. You must share it. But any other relevant thing like we do vows, we went to this place, it's not necessary now.
No. See those ones are not things that they even care. Those will happen. So there's levels of exes, right? So some people when they break up, when they're in a relationship, they go from base 1 to base 100 in terms of okay, so for example, if you kissed in your past relationship, if you had sex with the person in your past relationship, if you like how deep you went,
it's much deeper than what you've already.
Okay, so would you share that? With your
I dated this person. Oh yeah, we've slept with each other before. Yeah, random one sentence. Bye. What are you saying again after that? You want to talk about the stars and
what if the person wants to know like
what? Why is the person how many words? Is it body counts?
Body counts.
How many people you slept with?
Body counts. Okay.
Interesting.
Ladies, the answer to that question.
Let's hear from cover the wise one.
No. The answer to that question, if they wake you from a deep slumber, please do not mention more than 3 names. Don't be that woman that now counts 57 names.
Names of noisemakers.
Because you're going for your doom, Why? You're preparing for the end of that relationship.
Yeah, this topic has actually come up before because sometimes guys cannot take they can't handle some information well.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, I want to. When they not hear it, it's like, hey, God.
What am I? Do I even know this person?
Like, by the way, this is not like, it's not just not wise. It's just not wise.
Well, you see, does that not counter what you said about?
Yeah, about this.
No, so hold on, right? You know, we were good girls.
Yeah.
Right? And good girls mean that you don't have to deal with this kind of situation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I was going to say that. There's nothing there. You just talk about it. But when you have like 5, 6, 7, 10, 20.
Telling them, I think if you were exploring and you now, I think you should still share everything.
So you should probably say, oh, wow, maybe have been with a number of guys, but don't give the figure.
Don't give numbers.
The figure can be scary.
Wait, do you even actually count? You just say, oh, I've been with a number of guys, and just end it like that. What if the guy that says how many?
How many?
So this is the way to actually. Infinity. That's how I'm looking at people that don't say like that. So hey, there's a way to answer that question. If he asks you, oh, you know, what's your body count? You'll be like, oh, you know, I've only dated 3 people seriously. Never ever disclose the
finance. How many have you dated on seriously?
I cannot disclose. No, I cannot remember. I can't remember.
It was one of them you would have remembered because there are too many.
No, I can't remember. Don't you think that there's something valuable in actually being upfront with your part, like someone that you're about to marry?
I 100% agree with you.
To tell them that, look, I've had a past, and my past has been this.
Okay.
And I'm not comfortable really telling you, but just imagine whatever that past has been. My past has been bad, but now, again, maybe I'm also thinking about it from like a Christian perspective, right? Because like, if you're about to marry someone and you say you're really a Christian, you should be able to tell them like, look, I've had a bad past, I've changed and all that stuff, and the person has to marry you for that, for who you are.
Not finding things out after.
Exactly.
Look, you have to. This is the kind of information that you don't disclose before the marriage. No. Let me explain what I mean. Right. So with this answer you've given, yes, before the marriage. After the marriage, you can now start divulging a little bit more.
Maybe you don't even need to.
Maybe you don't even need to at all. If it never comes up, let it be there. Because Femi is right. Most men cannot handle it. And also the hope is that most men too don't want to know. Like, what do you even know? There's some that are very nosy. They want to know.
Why do you want to know?
So who was your first boyfriend? So who was the next one? So who was the next one? Like, they really want to know. They want details. And those are the ones that are even the most messy ones.
What if you have dated one of his family members before? Would you tell him?
You should though.
Yeah, because it can cause.
That's like big secrets, isn't it?
That one needs to be told.
It needs to be told. That's big. Yeah, that's big because it's like I don't even know. I don't think anybody can recover from not knowing that.
Yeah, exactly. That would be
like maybe you were with his brother.
That would be so.
Because like, if you really want a true marriage and partnership,
transparent.
I agree with sharing everything, not withholding.
I agree with sharing everything now.
Not withholding anything. How about, I don't know, maybe because I've seen situations where people date for such a short amount of time or get engaged for such a short amount of time, Christians and non-Christians, and they don't. There was no time for them to know everything, right? So then in the marriage, you're starting to uncover stuff. Should there be a bit of boundary to that? Because if the person is afraid of, if I now share it now, it might destroy my marriage. You know, that kind of thing.
Okay. I seem to be on the road with the Bible references today.
Right.
They were naked and they were not ashamed. If you are marrying somebody and be in your deep heart of hearts, you know that there are certain things that you'll be afraid to tell him, then it's actually better to do it before you get married. Because it means that something inside of you is telling you that he will not accept you with that information. If you wait until the marriage, it will become doubly hard. And if he now leaves you, that's just unnecessary trauma.
Yeah. It's pure wickedness too, I feel like sometimes. Because, for example, you know that whole some people, like before they, I don't know, you hear that they have HIV or whatever, or they have AIDS, like, or a terminal illness, and then they get married. They engage with this person for 6 months, and I've seen this happen. They get married. Well, it's not HIV specifically, but like an illness. He dates this person or engaged with this person barely, maybe 6-7 months. They're married, and then it turns out that the terminal illness became worse almost right after marriage. And all of a sudden, the woman is now pregnant, right? And then he doesn't even last past like a few months of marriage. So that for me is like pure, it's pure wickedness. It's selfish.
Yeah.
So whether you're Christian, you're non-Christian, please don't jeopardize someone else's future and destiny.
Like if you love them, why?
If you love them, share.
Yeah, let them be the one to make that decision.
Let them be the one
if
to
they still
make
want
that
to go ahead
decision. Yeah.
or not. So let's say we cannot talk about this topic without talking about the elephant in the room.
What's the elephant in the room?
Should you be checking your partner's phone?
Okay. Let's see what do you think?
I am the one that has the question. I don't want to tell you the answer yet. You tell me first,
I don't think it's a big deal. I feel like if you have nothing to hide, if you shared everything, it shouldn't be a big deal and it's not like you're snooping. You're just like, for example, like maybe your spouse is not someone that give gist the way
you want to find
you want to yourself. Yes, and you want to find out the gist yourself. There should not be anything.
Men are not good at giving gist. Actually,
they're actually horrible about it.
They're not.
Have you seen where something hot has happened? You're asking him, so what's
the
happened?
one-liner?
You're not like, it wasn't. It's done. No, come back. What did they now say? Then when you said that, how were they looking? How did they react? If you're going to give me, just give it to me hot.
It'll be fresh and spicy. So I don't think it's a big deal.
I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. Me, like I said, it depends. If I'm bored sometimes, I just go and do audits. Let me go and check what's going on here. Let me see if there's anything new, right? So me, I don't think it's a big deal. For example, my husband and I, we even have the same phone password. So anytime, and I have face IDs. My face ID is on his phone. So I want to open. Yes, in case of emergency. So I want to open it. I can open it and check what I want to check, see what I want to see. But my husband, even though he has access, he does not. But that's up to him. If you don't want to check, that's up to you. But me, I always tell him, if I want to check it, I'll check it.
I actually think that this thing is very important in marriages. Have you heard of situations where the man went out, didn't tell the wife where he was going to? Things like that. If you cannot trust the person with your phone, how do you trust the person with like deeper, more complicated stuff like your life?
Exactly.
So there's nothing to hide. Well, if you don't have anything to hide,
agreed.
Why should your phone password be hidden?
And what are you? That's it. Like,
what are you hiding? It cannot pass a side check.
It affects trust. It affects. It just even causes friction generally, and it's like, can I trust this person completely?
I find it funny when I see married couples, they'll say, my phone is my privacy. I don't want, what dirty privacy? And you're married, but nakedness is not your privacy.
You should have kept that privacy.
That one. Okay, but how about location sharing?
Which one's location?
We want a location.
What do you mean by location?
That's a deep
level. Another level.
That's another level.
We have to start categorizing these levels now. Face ID level. Location sharing.
What do you mean by
location sharing? So like our phones, like the way we'll drop a pin and say this is where I am, right? But location sharing, you turn it on with loved ones where they know where you are at all times.
I heard that one before.
I didn't know it existed. Is it iPhone?
Yeah.
Never knew about it.
Well, I mean, if that's an option, I mean, hopefully it doesn't feel like I mean, again,
That
like
is
you
more for
said, there's
safety.
nothing.
You're not hiding
It's
anything.
all
Why?
about you already
Yeah.
trust this person. You're already in full partnership with this person. What will location sharing do? Other than
It depends on if the person is, there's some people that may not be on the same page with you, and he just feels, or she just feels like you're trying to monitor me. Like, why are you checking up on me? Why do you want to know where I am?
I won't be bothered that someone is monitoring me unless I had something to
you know
hide.
what? I think we're also really looking at this in a very simple term. I feel like when marriage actually starts happening, then life starts happening. To some people, they lose a bit of trust, and it might not even be because they're hiding anything. It might just be maybe the wife just feels like, I can't trust this guy with money, not because he's intentionally doing anything. It just maybe he can't help it, right? So then they're hiding certain things just for the benefit of the family, like of the kids. Or like we don't want to just spend
like what you
money
said about that
anyhow.
money spender person. So when some women start to hide some funds, so their husbands don't know about it, because if he knows, he will spend it and the family will be hungry. That kind of thing.
Like I think there can be. I don't think it's simple all the time. Where
Some
like
gray areas.
yes, there's some gray areas with it where I think that it can be okay that you're doing it because you're doing it from a good place, not necessarily that you're doing it because I just don't trust the person with money. The money is an example, right?
I see your point.
Right? I think
point.
that so it doesn't have to be everything, I guess.
Okay. I've been wanting to ask this one. How about, so ladies, we do a lot of things to look good. How comfortable do you think someone should be disclosing everything they do to look good?
You mean to their spouse?
Like what? Because if it's BBL or all the other things, wouldn't it be obvious that you did it?
No, not that one. Like, so like I was telling her yesterday that there are some beauty treatments that you go to the whatever and you spend like 2K on your face on beauty treatments, on your body. Maybe they're doing all sorts of things. Do you come home and actually talk about like, oh babe, I went for this beauty treatment, they actually injected placenta blood into my face, that kind of thing? Like, or do you keep it secret, like, oh, I just want to look good, but I don't want him to know how and why I'm looking this good?
Because he's going to go crazy if he hears that you spent 2K.
I don't think it's the money. Remove the money aspect.
So why would you be hiding it?
So this thing I've actually heard from someone before. She said she wants her looking good to be mysterious to the man. So she walks out when he's not at home to make sure that he never catches her exercising. So that he just she said he's part of keeping the mystery alive, that he just believes that his wife is a baby girl, that she doesn't need to do anything to stay that beautiful, and he's just reaping the benefits. But meanwhile, she's killing herself. Once the man leaves the house in the morning, she's in front of the TV doing squats.
I think that's cute. I think it's cute, but I think that I guess it depends on what they classify as mystery in a sense, because for me it's like the guy has to know how much work I'm putting in. He has to know, because then it will come off as like, oh, she's just always set
like you are not magic better, knowing that you are putting in the effort. Look good for me.
I think it might make the guy even be more like, she must really like care about my needs and what I want or what I like and all that. I don't know. I don't think that qualifies as much, in my opinion, anyways. But yeah, I think that it has to be more like you're hiding. I feel like, do you guys not do things in small? So okay, let me give an example. You go out, right, to the shop, or you go to the grocery store. This one is weird. I want to ask if it's considered being private or sharing everything. You go to the grocery store and you buy something worth, I don't know, $699, and then you come home and you tell your spouse, I only spent it was just around like $500. It's not
Why? Because
like
you spend too much, you'll be like,
you go down instead of going up, right? Or you do the opposite for the reverse effect.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's part of like hiding some things or telling
because why do you need to change the figures?
So you guys never do it?
No. Manipulating figures. You know, people always spending too much. That's why.
No. So sometimes I feel like it depends on like I don't, of course it's not most times, and I feel like even the opposite happens where they're just under.
I don't think there's any need. Why are the shenanigans? Like,
this way I spent $685 plus 0.20 cents.
I don't understand.
Do you give?
Wait, why you even come to announce your prices every time you come back from grocery store?
I use grocery store as an example.
Okay.
Maybe grocery store is not
okay. Maybe you go shopping.
You go shopping.
Why you announce your price?
I went to make my hair and I spent $1,000. I went to make my hair and I spent $1,000. Is it your money?
But did you actually spend $1,000? If you spent like $2,000, would you say?
You say if that's the cost of
even if you know.
Exactly.
I'm not even understanding.
Except, let me tell you the only time you know one thing. If you guys are supposed to be saving towards a cause, and you are now splurging, and the other person,
no, that's not the only time. The time you should be doing something like that is when he has said, "Oh, I really want to buy maybe a pair of shoes," and you're like, "No, baby, let's save.
Yeah.
Money. But apart from that, yeah.
Okay, maybe. That makes sense. I mean, for me, I guess we've classified what everything is, right? Everything is direct and indirect impact.
No, we've not discussed everything. There's now one. How about personal space? Like, there's some people that don't understand. Oh, should your partner be able to come into the bathroom when you're using the loo?
Why not? I don't know.
I don't lock the door.
Huh?
You don't lock the door.
Why would I lock the door?
I mean,
I don't understand. You have got yourself naked to sleep with the person. You have kids for the person. Then when you are now using the toilet, the person should not come inside.
I'm just asking.
There's some people. I think some people are.
There are no times when you just. Hey, I don't know times when you just want to be by yourself.
I think that it's not like your partner is always coming into the bathroom. It's just that if he wants to come in, he can come in, but it's not like he's always coming every time you enter the bathroom.
No, I feel like it depends on the personality in that instance. Like, it shouldn't be seen as a big deal. I feel like some people are like, whatever you want to see. From the first day itself, they farted in your presence.
Oh my Lord.
There are people like that. They don't really.
They're not body conscious.
Yes, they're not body conscious. They're not prim and proper. Like they don't think too much about these things. Whereas there's some people, they grew up very conscious of how they present themselves. There's no, like, you can't change that. Yeah. So if they say, "Oh, I need my," if they lock the door, they're not used to it. Give them 30 years. Maybe after they have married for 30 years, one day they open it, like, milestone
achieved.
Milestone achievement. He finally unlocked the door and showered without. So I think it depends. It depends on personalities. They're allowed to be a bit private on certain things. So personal space, I think you're allowed to be a bit private. Choose whatever works for you on that one.
So what do you guys think? Like, if you, as you're married now, and maybe you bumped into your ex at the supermarket, and like, "Oh, you look good," blah, 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 but then nothing really happened. Would you mention that to your husband, or since nothing happened?
I would mention it.
Okay.
So that the day we then bump into him next time and say, "It's nice to see you again."
It's not me sounding like something else.
At that point, it is too late to start describing that or explaining that. "Oh, we actually bumped into each other last month." No.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Unless it happens by omission, without being, what's the word?
Let's be real. This is not omission. You remember now.
Yeah, I don't know.
If the person is not important, I mean, nothing happened. You just met to supermarket.
Because I don't want people to like start overthinking.
Do you understand?
Thing where it's like, like if I ever see my ex, I must register it. It does happen sometimes.
So what I think we're talking about, so you're simplifying it, right? So there are exes and there are exes, right? So you met an ex that is an ex that your husband knows, is aware of, that maybe the relationship was deep, and maybe you bumped into the person, you chatted briefly, there's nothing serious about it. If you don't mention it, the next time your husband, now maybe you guys bump into each other and the person now says, oh, nice to see you again, that kind of thing, because he knows the history, he's now going to think more about that thing.
Yeah, like I get that, but you know, like I feel like, and this causes problems a lot in marriage. I feel like sometimes some people honestly just forgot to tell their spouse.
Because it wasn't that important.
Not because they didn't want to tell. Like, I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes people just honestly forget things that. I don't want the other party, whether it's a girl or it's a guy or whatever, to now be like, it must tell me, you know. Or like where you're like, because I forget stuff, I now need to remind myself, put it on my calendar, tell husband that I met X today. Because now they're like thinking, if I don't tell him and I meet him the next time, then, do you know what I mean? You can honestly forget. True. Ideally, if you remember, of course, don't withhold, right? But if if you don't remember and you don't tell, the next time your spouse should not be like acting like, oh, that's the end of the world. Now you're now hiding secrets from them, and like it's like the worst thing ever.
Suppose you also need to know who you're married to, right?
True. Yeah, true. Like if you really feel like that kind of information, if you withhold it, it can have a negative impact.
Sorry, I cut you short. No, and there are some very stupid people that, you know, there's some men, even when they've broken up, the way they'll still be looking at the person, almost like they're undressing you with their eyes. When you now see, like, obviously he doesn't know this person, right? Imagine that he's now caught in that situation where the person is busy eyeballing you and all that, and the person is now saying it in a tantalizing way, like something happened. All right. Oh, wait, before cookie jar, how about bank account information, bank account passwords?
Oh, bank account passwords and statements. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with sharing. I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing down.
Log into your bank accounts.
I think there are different rules, like not rules. I think there are different ways to approach that. I think.
Okay. What's the reason why? The best way?
Yeah. No. There's no. For me, best way is depends on the couple dynamics, right? How they do their thing, right? For example, most families have, each individual has their own personal account, and then they have a joint account as a couple. In that case, maybe the other person is just likes their privacy to that level where it's like, I don't want you to be able to log into my bank account and see what's there. Like, what's your real purpose of logging in? Right?
No, I feel like it's not like it's mandatory like share a password, but if it comes to a situation where I have to share it, I wouldn't have a problem sharing it. Because in case of emergency, what if something happens to you, you're in an accident, you're in coma, and somehow we need the funds in your account, so because of your secrecy now we won't have funds.
I see what you mean. Like, I'm just the reason why I say what I say is I think that privacy has different levels. Like, if they've agreed that that's how we're going to operate, it shouldn't be a thing of, oh, I'm now tying this to trust in the marriage, right? Where if I don't share my bank account password and username, I don't see a problem with it. But I'm just saying that if somebody feels like that's my private information,
you can't have private for
like
when said that person has a money problem, then you know that this is just wisdom. But like person doesn't have a problem with money, the person knows your money is there and he's not trying to let's spend less. I don't know. I feel like
I feel like it depends. I won't fault someone if they decide that that's really private to me. I don't know. I won't fault them because I feel like I don't have a problem with it, but like if someone just feels like, no, I don't want you to be able to log into my bank account.
Wait, sorry, if your husband suddenly told you, I don't want you to be able to log into my bank account, wouldn't you feel weird?
Not suddenly. You see,
like if he told you,
actually said that, if that was the agreement before marriage, we are not going to be that open to that point with each other.
I feel somehow.
Okay. Should you have a secret bank account that your partner does not know about?
That's all part of it now. The emergency funds. No and no. But
Did you say no?
Yeah.
Ha. Okay.
Well, I guess no in terms of like if there's no issue, right? If the person is not someone that you can't trust, right? But if the person breaks your trust,
then it's understandable.
then it might be important to
but
do
like
that.
nothing has happened. Person is
But nothing. Yeah, everything is good, and then all of a sudden
why are you
just like
secret? If the person mistakenly finds out,
planning for the rainy day.
yes, like it will,
Like
it will
if
be
something
odd.
it almost feels like you're planning for the marriage to fail.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a very different opinion to you guys. Share everything, but please have Vex money that nobody apart from you know about.
Why would you have that?
Because it's not necessarily about things in the marriage, right? It's also a case of, it's like having a security blanket where you know that you are protected. Because let's be honest, let's not be living in la la land. As much as we love our spouses and we pray that nothing bad ever happens, the truth is that relationships break down. Things happen in life. Unexpected situations happen. So as a woman, even as a man, please protect yourself. It's either you have investments, but I'm not saying if he asks you, you say I don't have any money. No, I will tell you, yes, I have emergency funds.
Okay.
You don't need to know how much.
So what if he tells you?
So that means they're not sharing
okay,
everything.
Can we please have some of the emergency funds?
Heck no. It is called emergency for something.
Well,
For a reason.
You know that now. It means that we're not sharing it.
Yes.
No, we are sharing. I'm not withholding information from you.
You're withholding the amount.
I'm withholding the amount because imagine that, okay, I'm saving an emergency funds. I'm the only one that knows the Armageddon that I'm saving for. Right?
Why family has it? Why is saving for personal
No. So that's the thing. As married people, right? Like we're married. Doesn't mean that the money you're saving is just for you. Just like you mentioned. Oh, what if something happens to the other person and we suddenly need funds? So nobody knows what that emergency could be. So it is our job to save to the best of our ability for whatever rainy day is coming. Does that make sense? You guys are quiet.
No, it makes sense that if someone breaks your trust, you would go out, like you would now be like, okay, well, I mean, I don't have an issue with having. But hold on, okay. So here, that's why I went back.
Your trust is
that's why I went back.
Sometimes the trust could have been broken, and you guys are trying to patch things up. Then you now change your trajectory. But as long as the person has not done anything or hinted anything or acted in any way to make you feel insecure about where you stand, I feel like
this is where yes, I agree with that. But at the same time, if you really want to keep an emergency fund, just for like keeping an emergency fund, you should still be able to tell.
That's what I'm saying. I just told you.
No, but you should be able to tell them how much is in your emergency fund.
Knows how secure they are.
Because exactly, maybe he wants to match his own.
No, you need to do your own emergency fund. Like, see, there's a family secret. There's a family emergency pot. There's a family emergency pot.
Yes.
We put money into it equally.
Yes.
Per time.
Yeah.
That is for the tire needs to be changed. The roof is leaking. Whatever. Right? But then there is the world is ending emergency fund.
Will you leave your spouse when the world is ending?
That's why I said that the fact that I'm the one saving that pot does not mean that it's just for me.
They just would never know.
If it's for all of you, then let them know the amount now. Can they want to contribute to it?
No. Why is it my own you contribute to? No.
What I subscribe to is be private enough to not share the password to it and the information to it, and keep all that information very private. But it's okay if they know the amount. Just like when you marry them, you tell them this is my net worth, right? You can now you've divulged that information to the number, right? But it doesn't mean that they have access to it, right? It doesn't mean they can access that money. So personally, I think that if the agreement was that we're individually going to have our private bank account, then you don't need my password for it. If we are going to have an emergency bank account individually, you don't need access to it. But you're allowed to know how much is in there. You're allowed to know how much I've been able to save, how much I've been able to invest, blah 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 blah, all that, right? I mean, so that at least there's a level of equality around how you're sharing the info. Like, you can both be private with it and then do the joint thing for the good of the family, right?
I think just personally, I just feel like you need to know what's in my emergency pot, because that's my vex money. That is money that the sun suddenly decided I did not want to be up in the sky, and that money is accessible.
One question: what do you guys think about prenup? Just around this whole
just feel like so this is the way I see it. I feel like the whole thing of signing a prenup, you're already gearing up for disaster. You're already saying this marriage may not work. I know there's a possibility that all marriages may not work, but you signing it is like already saying this marriage may not work, and then it's already showing that you don't trust me, I don't trust you, you're guarded, you're not being vulnerable with me, right? So because the way I see it, I mean, you guys, like Kome said in the beginning, you are now one. Now, if the person decides to go ahead and be crazy and do crazy things, right? The way I see it too. Like I used to tell my husband sometimes, God will bless you because of me. So, if anything
That sounds like a threat. Okay, but continue.
So if anything should happen, I feel like, this is me sounding spiritual, but I feel like God would provide for me, and you feel like you're taking it, fine, go, but I think I'll bounce back, right? So I don't like bother myself about stuff like that. Yes, it could be painful, the betrayal, whatever, but you know, I just feel like starting on the note of a prenup is already saying I don't trust you. You know, in case anything happens, like, why? I don't know.
You know what? If you ask me this question, like maybe a year, 2 years ago, I'll be like, I'll be on your page. Now I'm a little flexible with it.
Why? What changed?
Why? Because I've seen marriages. So you see that part where we say marry a kind person? Sometimes maybe somebody has been kind to you all the while, and then something happens, and the breakup happens, and you guys are no longer together, and that money part becomes something that you guys now use to show hatred towards each other. And a prenup just makes that easier. Solves that problem. But the way I see prenup being used, so I know most times, I think it's also like a society perception. Most people in the past that have done prenups have been billionaires or millionaires and all that. But I'm starting to realize that I think everybody should have a prenup before marriage. And the prenup should not be like, they're very apparently. I was doing some research. There's very simple prenups where what you both individually came in with, you both leave with. Wait. And then what both of you did, like, together. So, you know, depending on couples, depending on family, how they're set up. Some family, like most people, they do businesses together. Some people do individual businesses. Let it be their individual things, right? If there's a need for you to gain from the other party's business because you guys did it together, you can both sit down and agree in love, deciding during the prenup agreement in a way that is cordial and fair enough. I don't know. Again. I'm just saying this because, like you said, you never know. You might not even need that emergency fund if your prenup is properly set. If you understand, and something like a breakup happens, right? Or like somebody mishandles money and then you just like I can't do, or they do something crazy, they cheat on you, they do like whatever it is, right? It just solves that, because people spend a lot of money to restart their lives when something like divorce happens.
Okay, hold on.
So they restart and they're like selling their houses again just because they never agreed, you know, oh, who's gonna, like, how we're gonna split this, how we're gonna do this.
So I think I'm open to having a prenup if we had the sense to do it before getting married.
Yes.
But the terms have to be conducive. Have you seen situations where, just like acrimony we were talking about earlier, have you seen situations where the wife helped the man become,
to build,
and then the prenup would say something like, you leave the marriage with what you came with?
No.
just example,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then all of a sudden, I'll kill you.
That means we're on the same page for that acrimony.
No, that's good. So that's what I was saying with the simple prenup. When I said so the only things you live individually with is what you both individually came with. But what you both built in the marriage is split
So now
fairly.
sometimes it is not clear to see that the other person built with you. Just like this story of the acrimony, you need to see that movie where he spent years building his dream, and she was supporting the family, supporting him in the process of all of this. And then they started having challenges. She left, they split, and then that thing he had spent decades working on suddenly became big. Obviously, on paper, she had left the relationship by the time the thing blew. But she was working how many jobs?
She even lost a lot of her own stuff now.
Yes,
because of the guy.
So this is where, I didn't actually talk about the details of the prenup. But I feel like if people are comfortable enough to start thinking about prenup as a simpler way to deal with like worst case. If worst case happens, like no man is perfect, nobody's perfect. Worst case happens, we have an agreement. And at the time you're doing it, you're doing what's fair. For example, if you say, and this is just an example, if your husband starts a business, right, all of a sudden in the marriage, and you don't own any part of the business while you're in the marriage, and all of a sudden the marriage breaks up or something happens, right, you don't have to share it 50-50, but it can be fair to share it 60-40 when this split happens, where all of a sudden you're getting 40% of the net profit because you were together in the marriage. I'm just giving an example, right? But it is up to them individually sitting down and deciding what's both fair to each other.
Okay.
I think that if people can get to that level of comfortability, maybe prenup is not such a bad idea.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I just think the motive should be right.
The only time prenup will look good is if it was mandated by law. So it's not like I'm insisting, you're insisting, because it will definitely cause some kind of friction. If it's by law, as you are signing your marriage certificate, before then you have to sign your prenup, and everybody has to do it anyway. So there's no why are you doing a prenup with me? But if it's optional and then you now opt for it, I don't know.
Also, there's some parents who actually insist. There's some parents. Do you remember there was this couple on Love Is Blind, the Jewish girl?
Oh, that Jewish girl.
Yeah, and then her dad insisted that they should have a prenup. So that makes sense. That is him obviously looking out for his daughter. That doesn't say anything about their relationship or the solidity.
Yeah, but the husband would be angry that why couldn't you stand up for me? Why did you agree with your dad to such a thing?
I mean,
there's also that.
YOLO man.
That's why sometimes I think about the prenup. It's just like sometimes it's just a much better way to resolve conflicts when if anything does happen, then one person does not, because if you think about it, in reality, when something does happen, the person that has more money has the upper hand, because he's going to hire a really good lawyer, and the other person is still going to be shortchanged. So why not just like both of you secure yourself in that future together from the ground, like from the beginning, so that there's no issue.
For those people who obviously have escaped the prenup stage because they're already married, have an emergency backup after the backup.
Emergency funds, please.
Now, please, before we move on, should you have secret investments that your partner does not know about, like land, house, estates?
No, you don't call anything because me and
No,
yeah.
thank you.
It's definitely it's a no, because like it's all part of it, like it's all financial, right? So it's cookie jar time. Femi has made sure to give it to me first. I didn't have a choice, guys. I did not have a choice.
No.
Actually,
she likes this topic.
it's a person in this chair that usually picks first.
Actually, that's true. That's how it has been.
I'm honest, guys.
She's very honest. Except about the emergency fund.
Exactly.
I feel like we've answered this question. Should spouses discuss every past relationship, or is some history best left on?
We have discussed. Pick another one.
If only I could see the question I'm picking.
That's why it's a cookie jar. You can't.
Should spouses share everything about their work life, or is some separation healthy?
What's it about your work life that you're going to be hiding?
Keep it about your work life.
Unless you're working for NSA,
or sometimes like as a doctor, some confidential information about other people. And it's not your spouse's business now.
That doesn't indirectly impact your relationship now.
How about all those ones that will say they have office wife and
husband and office wife? What's
nonsense? Like borderline cheating.
Yeah,
what's borderline about it?
It's basically cheating.
Exactly.
There was this story. I can't remember where I saw it, where the office wife was bringing lunch for the husband every day. So he stopped taking lunch from home because this woman was bringing lunch, and then she would just bring spoon and be like, "Oh, come and join me. I brought food for you."
There's not something inside their food. And just eating. Well, maybe they've even put it the very first time you tasted the food, they have already put it inside, so you can't say no. Because I don't understand why you now stop collecting your wife.
You stop taking your wife because you're not going to eat someone else.
That's
maybe the rest food is not fit, but would you want to know like the relationship with colleagues? Who is the so-called
that one is just part of normal office, gist that you just when you get back home, but it's not like it's a mandatory thing, I must tell every single detail that happened, but it's just normal gist that comes up. Anything significant happen, you talk, this annoying person at work. In fact, someone else is just these two people, they fought at work today, sometimes it.
And if you notice that he's not disclosing anything, he's not talking about it. Every question you ask about how was work, you'll be like, it was fine, let's move on.
That can be a guy thing. Well, not like let's move on, but like that can just be a thing where it's like, work was great.
It was good.
And they're not really thinking about, especially if the person's not good at gisting and they just want to have like a restful evening.
Yeah.
And then you're just pining for. You've been waiting for them to come back all day, so that you can just. That's the only time that you get frustrated. I guess.
That waiting for them is real.
Yeah.
Like if you're close to your spouse, like the moment the person is back, you're like, hey, that was ridiculous.
And then they'll just say one line.
it was fine.
If you immediately jump to, are you hiding something? Like, madam.
It has actually happened a few times where you are waiting for this. The person comes in the door. You've been waiting the whole day, and then you're like, especially maybe they have a particular meeting that you were waiting to hear the outcome of, like bonus time. When I come back, I'm like, oh, how was it? I'm like, it's just there. No, bros, come back. Like, what's the remaining part of the gist?
But I think this also ties into like how close you are with your spouse. If you don't have an actual friendship, it's going to be difficult for you to like do something like that where you're like telling them, oh my dear friend, this is what happened, you know. Yeah.
But how do you get to the point where you don't even have a friendship with your spouse?
So when she said it, I imagined it as, all those people that are in polygamous relationships.
Even not everybody that is in polygamous relationship. It's because we are thinking of it as we married our friends. Not a lot of people marry their friends.
Some people have lord,
like in a certain setting. In some settings, what's the word? They see marriage as a duty. Like if you think about some conservative, I'm not too sure of this thing, but like me, I grew up deeper life, right? A lot of people don't marry their friends. Like,
how do they choose who to marry?
They see it in the dream, or I don't know, like. It's just not a common, like you barely even date the person. You barely even go out. Hopefully it's changed now, but back then you barely even go out to the person. You spend a few times together in someone else's house, which is where you do the courtship. Hopefully that has also changed, because you people should be able to go to Mr. Big's door session together without being followed. That's me jabbing back at certain personalities. But yeah, like there are a lot of marriages where they don't actually marry. Sometimes they marry people that are even much older than them.
The fact that somebody is older, you still not be your friend.
When I mean older, is 8 years, 10 years. Do you think that's what I'm saying? They're not. There are lots of relationships where they're not marrying their friends, and they don't have that kind of cordial conversation, relationship. It's just more like, do your duty, sir. Give us money for the month. It's true. It doesn't even have to be polygamous.
Oh, you eat.
This might be because my brain is not accepting it. How do you have intimacy with somebody that you are not comfortable or friendly with?
Oh.
I think all this in polygamous relationship. How do you think they're doing it?
No, they must have had a relationship with the man to marry him in the first place.
No. We saw flower in your garden.
It's because you're having that mindset of like, and you know, this is a more recent mindset, where like this modern dating kind of mindset, where it's like, oh, this person, a lot of people don't. Like, I don't even know if the Muslims do the same, right? Like, it's just, they just see marriage as a duty. I'm here to procreate.
Yeah, exactly.
Take care of the man. Where's the friendship? No friendship. It's just that.
Do you not think that those people will seek companionship outside?
Which of them?
Well, they might.
Whoever it is,
it might not be with the opposite sex. They might have their companionship with their friends, and that's enough for them. And they don't necessarily cheat or do anything else outside. It's just the norm for a lot of people. I'll tell you that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, is it my turn? Okay. Shake it. Okay. Let's go. Pick something good, please. Pick something good. Oh, how much privacy should couples have when using social media?
0.
Wait.
What do you mean by private and using social media?
Like their DMs. Who's sliding into his DM and who is he sliding into their DM?
What kind of privacy is that?
Oh, yeah, no privacy for that. But when using social media, I wonder what that question really meant. But yeah, it's the same. It applies to everything, right?
Yeah. Who is he following? What content is he watching? Is he watching some random girl shaking her bum?
Is he registered on OnlyFans?
Is he on OnlyFans?
Okay. Yeah.
I guess that question is pretty straightforward. Let me shake it. So when juicy question will come out.
So should you share your social media password and username too?
Should you have a secret social media account?
No. Oh, I picked 2. Let me drop one.
Yeah.
Okay. Question says.
Question.
Should you always tell your partner when someone flirts with you? We kind of.
Yeah, it goes with the ex.
Yeah. Okay, let's.
Wait, but.
It's different. This is not your ex. Yeah. A random person flirting with you.
Dr. Now you go to the store, you're just shopping around, and then this guy comes and says, "Hey."
That literally happened to me recently. Funny enough, I don't even remember to mention it to my husband.
See? So, but it's not a big deal. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
like just
because
it's not a big deal.
It's only important if something happens. I don't know how to explain it. But if we're just you didn't answer the person. I don't know how to explain it. Nothing significant happens, so it's not important. Just
maybe I feel like that.
Except the person flirting is maybe someone your husband knows.
Oh.
Do you understand? That's the gist. Yeah, but some random guy. Except maybe like in all honesty, I didn't even remember. It's just now that even when I was when we traveled for vacation, and I left them in the car and I went to Walmart. That time I went to America together. That US, oh my God!
If you now go to Vegas, what will happen?
What's happening? Anyway, I didn't follow people to Vegas.
If you go there, you know.
So yeah, flirting is. When my husband would say, do you know how many people try every day that I don't have to come and say it except something happens. So you already knows. We made the rules.
Okay. So should we
audience?
Oh yeah, we're supposed to.
Are we doing
specific 2?
Do we have time for 2?
We should know.
Okay,
we'll be quick. All right. So, do you think financial privacy is acceptable in marriage? I think we've answered this one, so let's move on. On to the next. Okay. So, is it important to have personal space and alone time in a marriage?
Kind of said something like that.
No, she was talking about that in terms of bathroom and everything.
Yeah.
But I think this one
Well,
alone
it's important to have alone time and personal time. It's so important.
Actually, it is. Actually,
I feel like sometimes you even need to recalibrate, process your personal thoughts, understand what's happening to you that day. Meditate if you need to meditate. So it's important, but that doesn't mean that you then lock yourself in the room for hours on end because you're trying to have personal time.
Depending on when last you had it now. I say if you're going to have personal time, try to, like me, I feel like sometimes maybe if you really feel like you need to distress and you don't want to deal with like your everyday stuff, it's okay if you take a weekend, go somewhere quiet. It doesn't have to be just 1 hour, 2 hours. But maybe if you consistently, if you consistently do it, maybe then you won't need like the weekend, right? So, okay. This one says, is it healthy to vent about your partner to a friend? Or should all issues be kept private? I like this one.
Very important question, actually.
I like this one.
I know a lot of people have different opinions about this.
I like this one. I wish we talked about it before.
But
let's see if we can.
So what do you think?
Is it healthy to vent about your partner to a friend? Or should a friend? No. Or let me not say no. It depends. I think there are different levels of it. How much venting are you, like how much information are you divulging when you're having this conversation with your friend? Do you understand what I mean? You can vent and be like, oh, I'm so stressed today, blah, 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 blah. You know,
that's different.
That's different. But like something happens, both of you.
From comes to now give details. And he did this, and I said this, and that was how. Can you imagine? That was different. From, oh God, this guy forgot to do this again. So that was like two different.
There's venting where you're like, it's normal everyday stuff that women all go through, and we're just like venting. Then there's the one where it's like,
we're talking about deep issues. Maybe you guys had a serious fight. You're not comes. Can you imagine?
And the details of the fight, and to the level where you're like almost, no.
Come on, be quiet, please. I think we need to hear from.
It's like she's processing. So yes, ma'am.
I just think it depends on the friend. It depends on what you're saying. I mean, so let's use the fight, right? You can talk about it if you trust that friend. You can talk about it without saying what he said or what he said. You can just, I can tell you that, something happened today. I'm a bit pissed off or I'm a bit unhappy. And then they just comfort you, right? Is different. I think this is a topic for another day. I think that a lot of the times, because of this fear of opening up to your friend, of talking about things that happen, a lot of people go through literal hell in their marriage, and they never have any safe space where they can actually open up.
I like
because
that.
Usually your family are the worst people to even report things like that.
Your family.
So if your family is the worst people,
so then you don't,
and your friends are worse, or they are bad too. So who do you talk to? Please, nobody should tell me
talk to God.
No, nobody should tell me God. I feel like that talk to God, and I'm a Christian, Christ believing, demon chasing kind of Christian. But the truth about it is that as much as God loves us, He's not going to come and sit down in that chair and be like, this is what to do, or this is how you should feel, or whatever. So we need a safe space. And the honest truth is that therapy is expensive, freaking expensive. Not everybody can afford it. So personally, I feel like we should stop saying this thing of don't talk to your friend. Like, please, ma'am, if he's about to choke the life out of you,
we should have clearly stated.
If something is happening and you do need to vent, but vent with wisdom. Don't vent to just any random person. Have friends that you know that you can never trust anybody 100%, but have friends that you know that I trust this person to an extent, that they don't have any ulterior motive towards me. And if you don't have any friend like that,
we need
start
to reevaluate.
praying for good friends.
Honestly, Kome, you said it really well. Like when I was thinking about it, I wasn't thinking about it as
extreme. You're in danger.
Extreme, yes.
Nah.
I was just thinking, oh, like every small thing happens. My husband, I'll go and tell my friend. Any small thing happens. Oh, he didn't do that, and then you're just like almost like rubbishing your spouse in, you know, with your friends all the time, to the point where they start to disrespect your husband, right? Or if they are the opposite way, they will not be like, this one does not know how good she has it. But yes, if seriously you're going through real like issues in them, you should have somebody to talk to other than your family, because
because your family won't forgive him.
Yes,
continue to see him in that light.
Yes,
so it's best not to.
Yeah. Especially, I don't know. Yeah, I wanted to say something about like domestic violence. But I don't know.
It's even not really as bad as domestic violence.
Yeah.
It could be something like, oh, I asked him to wash the plates. He did not wash the plates, and then he said something mean to me. Human beings accumulate.
That's normal venting.
No, your family though. They won't forget.
Somebody asked me a question recently. I don't know who. The person said that when your kids grow up, and say for example your kid marries a friend's kid, and maybe your friend's kid is not treating your kid as right, and it's not even level of domestic violence or like anything extreme, just simple things like maybe he's not helping out in the house, and your kid comes and tells you, would you talk to your friend to tell her son? And
I love your friendship. If we are friends, then I say, tell your son to, because I don't want to be the one to go and tell him, because it's kind of be like interfering. But you are his mother, so talk to him.
I had a different, I don't know. Me, I feel like sometimes when it comes to marriage, like sometimes you need to leave people to deal with certain issues.
It's really bothering her and causing issues, like she is affecting her work. She's going to work every day. The husband is going to work, and she's still the one coming back and doing it. And you are seeing that it's killing your daughter. You speak out too. And I will respect the husband by not talking to him, but I'll come and talk to you as a friend.
I'll be like, look at what your son is doing.
I'll talk to him.
I guess it depends on the level. I just don't want it to be a thing where like my daughter is always coming to like report.
That's not.
I want her to be able to like be independent to find ways to deal with like certain situations, but at the same time, of course, if it's really bothering her, she should be able to talk and share with me, and then but she shouldn't be expecting that I'll always solve her problems in marriage, because there's that whole dependency part of it that I'm like, I don't want to be doing that thing where like the generations before us, where they're like, any small thing, family meeting, any small thing, family meeting. So yeah, anyways.
Okay. It's like this thing read Kume's mind. Do you think couples should share their location with each other at all times?
Well, I guess the tool I use called to generate the question is current. Like,
it's very current because it has answered a lot of questions. Let me just pick one last one, then we'll do the audience one.
Okay.
How much should extended family know about issues in your marriage?
We just talked about it.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
Before we take the audience question, I happen to pick a juicy question, so I want the girls to talk about this. Should couples set boundaries with the opposite gender friendships? Who is already laughing?
Answer it first. It's your question.
You already know my position because why will you not set boundaries with you? Like that's the number one thing. And a lot of men don't know this, but that's the number one thing. You have to set boundaries, like clear boundaries. If not, some people will cross the line. Charlie, these days that a lot of people are thirsty out there.
They're looking for Lambo.
So they're looking for Lambo. Thank you. So there has to be boundaries. So you know when you are crossing a certain line. And it's not just boundaries for the husband, also boundaries for the wife. Like both of you have to agree that this is the boundary, this is where it crosses the line, right? When you are doing certain things, then you've crossed the line. That's how I feel. Boundaries help to guide you on, so you know when you are stepping out of line. If there are no boundaries, if there is no rule, there is no sin. If there's no law, there is no sin. So if there are no boundaries, then everything goes.
Do you know, you mentioned that, some men don't know that they should. I think that they know, but it is easier to not have those boundaries, and be disciplined enough to enforce the boundaries. Like there was this situation of where a girl went on holiday and got a ring for her male colleague.
Ring? What kind of ring?
Like, so she went obviously somewhere exotic, came back with a ring and like a keepsake or a souvenir from her country, but it was a ring, and she was like, I got this for you.
Was he married?
Right? Yeah. Yes. No. And then she was she's obviously forming that she doesn't know that it's a bad thing.
Yes.
And the guy too collected the ring, and the wife is now saying, no, why are you collecting? First of all, is it not weird to you that your colleague went on a holiday and came back with a present for you, and of all things to buy you, it's a ring? So I think that sometimes guys are just on, what's the word? They don't want to be the ones they don't want to do the work with the boundary. It's not that you don't know.
Yeah.
I agree. I think a lot of guys find it difficult to, like, is it the thing where they're trying to not offend the person, they're trying to be friendly with everybody?
Sometimes that's the case, other times it's not.
Because why would you even like me? I feel like those kinds of things, especially when it has to do with your marriage, you have to be very
firm about
it.
So imagine like the ring now. If it was a woman that her male colleague went to Japan and came back with a diamond ring and she brought it home, would the husband be happy? Like, you got a diamond ring.
The way people should look at it. Is like, if you were in the switch position, would you be okay with that? Yeah. I agree.
Okay, I guess that answers it. So since I picked down, then Timmy will pick the audience.
Okay, I'll pick the audience question. So this question is for you, our audience. Please leave your opinions in the comments section, whether on YouTube or on Instagram. Okay. It says, is it okay to keep certain friendships private from your spouse?
What kind of friendship?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Let's not talk. Let's allow them.
This is for the audience.
Let's see what they say in the comments.
Go think about this.
Think about it and let us know.
However way you want to interpret this question, think about it. Let's hear what your thoughts are in the comments. And that's a wrap for today's episode.
See you guys. Bye.